Hi, Owen Davis here from Leafield Real Estate, here with another interview with a buyer's agent this time, Christine Rutledge. Thanks, Christine.
You're welcome, Owen.
I wanted to have a chat to Christine today about where the market is. But firstly, can you tell us your experience with property investing and what you do with your clients and what experience you've had with them?
Well, my husband and I, we've been investors for 13 years now.
Right.
We started our journey back in 2006 when we had a little one, and one of our interests was property and looking at what we could do about retirement, and part of our strategy was property. I'm a former lawyer, so I was a lawyer for 10 years.
That's right.
Before that, I was in insurance for a couple of years, dealing with property claims, motor vehicle claims, CTP. And then I have been a buyer's agent for the last 9 years. So I've been essentially negotiating settlements and properties for the last 25 years.
Right, okay.
I'm not that old.
So many transactions.
Many transactions. And
Just in the hundreds, or would you be over the 1,000 mark now?
No, not over 1,000. Oh, actually, when you take into account
Yeah, all the conveyancing and yeah.
etc.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of talking in those years.
And from your experience, what are the how many bad experiences versus good experiences have you had? Because a lot of people hear in the media about all of the bad experiences with being a property investor.
I think as a property investor, everybody needs to have a bad experience in order to learn from it, and hopefully then I can teach others about how to avoid those bad experiences. So a lot of it comes down to making sure that you are involved with people who are experts in the industry, so making sure that you've got a good broker, you've got a good financial advisor, accountant, people that you can talk to and that deal with property every day. And then when it comes to buying property, making sure that you've got a really good conveyancer or solicitor and a good property manager on hand. So
of course, you need a good property manager.
Yes, because once the property is purchased, you rely on those property managers to look after your investment, your asset.
Yep.
And if you haven't got a good property manager, and we've had that experience, and so often it takes a couple of times to find the right property manager, but when you do, you stick with that property manager. And that's just part of the learning curve, and I think that everybody needs to go through probably some negative experiences in order to be able to then realise what are the essentials to make a good property and make sure that property stays in your asset base for as long as you can.
Okay. And what is it you're working with clients at the moment for buying an investment property?
Yep, so my portfolio of clients is probably 70-80% are investors. The other portion are principal place of residence, although that may change. Most of my investors, based purely on budget, are up in Queensland, so people with a sub 500, sub 400 budget. So a lot of them are in the surrounding areas of Brisbane, so north the Moreton Bay Shire, south the Logan Shire, and to the west in Ipswich Shire. They're looking at properties with a value purchase price between $300,000 and $400,000. Most are sort of set and forget, but a lot of people are looking for that value add potential. So granny flat potential or upgrade, like cosmetic upgrade potential.
Okay.
Most of my clients, but in saying that, I've got a few that are looking Central Coast, Wollongong.
Okay.
So purely on price point. Not too many in Sydney. You don't quite get the cash flow in Sydney, but those other areas, mostly up in Queensland, you've got the cash flow as well as huge growth potential as well.
Okay. Yeah. So that was a question I was going to ask. Do you see the growth potential in Brisbane, southeast Queensland, as being much greater than any other area at the moment?
Just based when I'm looking for my clients, I choose those areas because it's got all the factors for growth. So first and foremost is that population growth. So for example, Ipswich is currently around the 200,000 people mark, but in the next 10 or so years, it's expected to double to 450,000 people. So that's a major part of the potential growth for an area. Other things such as infrastructure, so looking at what the government's spending money on, so the M2, their version of the M2, so for Sydney people, they've got an M2 as well, that goes in and out of Ipswich. They've got the M1 that goes up and down the coast as well. They've got train lines that are being extended as well. Costco's going or going or being built in a suburb called Bundamba of Ipswich, which is, you tend to follow those big players as well because they've done a lot of their research.
Yep.
Good schools, good commercial areas, they're all the factors for growth. So when you are looking at a property, whether it's in a smaller budget range or a higher one, you've still got to look at all those factors for growth.
And you mentioned, you touched on a couple of minutes ago about doing more owner-occupied purchases for clients. Is that purely because of the drop-off in the investor interest and the finance issues?
Yeah, the investors are definitely still interested, but the main barrier for entry into the investment sphere has been lending.
Yeah.
So the last 12 months has been quite difficult, and following the Royal Commission and the issues that brokers may or may not have in the next 12 months or so, lending has definitely dropped off for those investors. So I have been focusing a lot on principal place of residence.
Actually, I've been asked a number of times over the last couple of months, is the market going to keep on dropping, or have we reached the bottom, or does that even exist across the whole market?
I think a lot of that will depend on the lending.
Okay.
Supply and demand. So if you have a lot of people that want to buy but they haven't got the money, they won't be out there looking. So there'll be an excess supply that will have a downward pressure on price. So a lot of it, the drop off in the in say the Sydney market has been because of people not being able to get finance, and I think that's going to be a major factor. So supply and demand. If they haven't got the money, they can't get out there looking at properties.
Okay. And so further over the next year or two, in terms of where the market's going?
Watch this space, I think. I think a lot of it will depend on being able to borrow. And I know that a lot of my clients that could get a lot of money before but can't get as much, we've still got that focus in those affordable areas, but areas that have got good growth potential and good cash flow up in Queensland. So at the moment, that market's been relatively stable.
Yeah.
It hasn't had the full effect of the Royal Commission and
Yeah.
the changes in the lending over the last 12 months, and
Yeah.
that will go forward in the next 12 to 18 months as well.
Okay. So from the sounds of it, it seems like you have this focus about helping your clients get into a property that's predictable in terms of cash flow. And if they can get capital growth at some stage, it'll happen, and it's really let it happen when it happens.
Yep, I like my clients to be able to sleep at night and not to stress about things,
Yep.
and I think that that's really important when it comes to property and then buying more property. If they can't sleep at night worrying about the first one, then they're not going to go to the second and third. So clients that are looking for something that's low risk, but still got all the factors for growth and good cash flow so that they're not up for a huge shortfall, that's something that I always say to my clients, let's have a look at that. But if they're higher risk people, then obviously we'll look at something that's got more growth and less cash flow. So it depends, every client's different. You've got to look at their risk factor, their budget, their experience, and cater towards their individual needs. It's not no one cookie cutter fits everybody.
Yep.
I think everybody's different, and
Yes.
you've got to cater for each client.
Okay. Well, that's great, Christine. Thanks for joining me today.
You're most welcome.
And thank you, everyone, no matter where you're watching or listening to this. If you have any questions for us or any comments, feedback, good or bad, we want to hear from you. And yes, Owen Davis from Leafields Real Estate, which we're here for the property investor. Thanks.